More and more, organizations are realizing that in order to be successful, they must value the diversity of their employees, volunteers, and patrons. Learning to recognize, appreciate, and utilize differences between people can benefit your organization. 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 20 children have some type of disability. Ask yourself, is there visible diversity at all levels of your organization? Is diversity reflected in your literature, website, and any photos or artwork on the walls? Is language in printed material inclusive, and does it speak to your people regardless of gender, race, sexual orientation, religion, and physical or cognitive ability? Is your organization known as a place where all kinds of people succeed? In this video, you will meet Rachel, Greg, Max, Brian, and Anna. It is our hope that by hearing these stories of success, you will learn why focusing on abilities and not disabilities can positively impact your organization.
Well, my name is Rachel Pillars, and I live here in Macon at the senior citizen apartments right now. And
I want to contribute to society, and I think everybody, for the most part, does have something to contribute. And you know, that's just one way you make this world a better place.
My name is Anna Christine D'Agostino, and I run the open mic night at the Blue View.
My name is Brian Evans, and I work for the Federal Highway Administration.
Greg Thurston is one of our volunteers. He's been volunteering for us. I looked it up. He started July 5th, 2001. So he's been with us for almost 8 years now. Greg is a joy to have with us here in the library.
Expectations. Performance by employees with disabilities is equal to or better than their peers without disabilities, says a 30-year DuPont study in Business Week.
When I have a volunteer, I try to do it mainly like you would an interview for a job position. So Rachel came in and we sat down and talked about what she's interested in, and we did have a big leg up because I knew Rachel loves to read. So after chatting with her a while, we just set up a schedule, and yeah. Rachel comes in.
It's important because we are all in the community and we all need friends and socialization. And socialization and communication with people that you work with are very important. Sometimes that's not available in restricted environments.
She didn't call because we were a volunteer for people with impairments of any kind. She simply called because she was looking for somewhere where he would fit in and where he could use the skills that he has and who would be willing to work with him to develop those skills.
Perseverance. People with disabilities have proven themselves to be experts at persisting to overcome obstacles and thinking outside the box.
When I first started law school, there are things that do become overwhelming about being in a wheelchair. When I first started law school, the very first day, and I think that's 1997, the very first day, I got so overwhelmed. I'm like, how can I do all this research? How can I get all these books off the shelves? How can I read through them all the paperwork? How am I going to do all my work? And I quit. First day of law school. I was thinking, man, my debt's going to be so big. I'm in over my head. And I did actually go to one class. It was pretty much after that first class, I'm like, I froze. I mean, the professor was in there asking questions that nobody could answer, and you're like, and I can't even fumble through the pages like everybody else. I'm not so nimble, and I'm like, I'm out of here.
You know, I tell people all the time. I mean, I tell as many people as I can because people all the time will they're like, oh, really? You have a brain injury? I'm like, yeah. Oh, I couldn't even tell. And I'm like, well, and I'll tell them, well, this is how it affects me, and I'll say stuff about forgetting things and stuff, and I'll say, oh, well, I forget stuff too. I'm like, no. I walk out of the house and get in my car, I don't have shoes on before, and I realize, and stuff like that. And it's really cool because I think I'm a really good testament to that. And like they'll always kind of like look at me and they kind of, you can see it in their head because I've done it so many times. It's been 8 years now, and you see in their head, you see them going, okay, she has a brain injury, so that means, and I'll tell them like I have a disability, and I get Medicare. I see a brain injury psychologist, or whatever it is that I'm doing right then, and I'll see them do that, like, well, that changes my opinion of her, and then they go, I've known her for like 3 years, and she's the same person, so, and it's really interesting to watch people make the decision that they didn't know that about me the whole time, and it didn't matter.
Well, I guess my advice is, just let everybody know that you want to work, because, with my situation, I was having trouble finding a job, but wanted to work, and, it happened to be by word of mouth that I was able to get my job, and I was getting to the point where I didn't think it was going to happen, and just did not lose hope, and keep trying.
Opportunity. People with disabilities are motivated by the desire to give something back and respond to opportunities for personal growth, job flexibility, and social inclusion.
I went back to school. I didn't want to give up on school after I had my accident. So I went back to school. I had my undergrad in health education. And then I went back and I got my master's of education in health and wellness. And it was about the time I started entering, well, it was about the end of my bachelor's, and during the beginning of my master's, I started thinking about law school. And I went to law school after got my master's degree and graduated there. And I graduated law school 2003, passed the bar 2004, and I've been practicing law ever since.
I wanted to work at the library because I enjoy books and enjoy learning about books, and I just enjoyed the atmosphere of the computers and the busy work, and I really enjoy the librarian because she used to work at the school, and I used to know her from the school, and so she was a real good friend, and so when I learned that she was the librarian here, I was really looking forward to volunteering here, and I didn't know exactly what it would entail, but I didn't mind because I just knew that I enjoyed the atmosphere and working with the books, and I enjoy it because I get to see new books also. When the new books come in, I get first crack at seeing what they have coming in, and I get to kind of read through them before anybody else gets to see what.
My dad lived next to a bridge engineer that worked here at Federal Highway, and he, noticed me coming and visiting, and his wife is a quadriplegic, so we had that in common. And he, asked him, about me, and found out I had an engineering degree, and got my contact information, and told me that they were hiring here, and that I should apply. The thing is, federal highway is civil engineers. And I told him that, and he's like, well, just try anyway. So I called and got my interview, and ended up getting hired through there. And he told me they wouldn't hold my mechanical engineering degree against me.
One of the things about this computer, and this is how I do my research at the library, is computers, most all computers, especially the ones with Microsoft Works on it, they have programs on them. Now, not necessarily word speaking programs, you have to buy this all together separately. But I can move my mouse around without using the mouse. And again, I'd say 95% of computers, I'm sure the Macintoshes have it too. They have the same thing, and you can use the keypad here. But, you just go into the control panel, and you look for accessibility, and it's usually in there somewhere.
Contributions. When organizations include people with disabilities, morale and productivity increase.
It's great. It's definitely good because at times we have a lot of work, and like this morning we do have a lot of extra work where Greg was working on magazines this morning because we do have a backlog going right now where it's good to have Greg here because he helps with the extra work when patrons are needing extra copies made.
She said, Max, I know you're disabled, but just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean you can't stop coaching. The best coach I ever had sat in a chair all the time. He never got up. And she said, if you want to, I'd like for you to come over and help me coach Special Olympics gymnastics. And so I did. And so pretty much from 1987 until the present, I've been helping coach gymnastics for disabled children.
I have 16 time slots, and usually I have close to 30 people sign up. So, and that's just the people that, oh my gosh, and it's not the same 30 people. Like my database, I keep everybody's name and phone number just in case, if I have shows that need, if they have shows or a lot of festivals, people will call me and say, hey, we need someone to play at this festival, and so then I'll give them a couple numbers of people that would fit it, and so it's been a really great resource. And my database is I've got 340 numbers in it, there's 340 different artists, or bands. So it's really impressive.
Full participation. 92% of people responded positively to companies that hire individuals with disabilities, and 87% responded that they would prefer to patronize businesses that hire people with disabilities.
Over the summer, I did a 3-month developmental assignment at headquarters in Washington, D.C., where I worked with the Office of Operation and the Office of Safety. And right now, I'm still learning, the whole program. October 16th, I became a full-time employee with responsibilities of a full-time employee. I've been recently delegated responsibilities for the emergency relief funding, which, recent events with the flooding that we had over the summer, if the state has over $700,000 worth of damages to the road system, then they're eligible for federal aid to help repair that. So I'll be taking over that program. I am responsible for traffic analysis and software.
But they will let me. Sometimes if I see a book that I like and that I'm discarding, they'll let me take it home, which is nice too. I can take it home myself and read it at home. And so sometimes when I'd get done with books down there, they'd usually only come and check on me like once a day. So when I got done with my pile, sometimes I'd start reading the books that were in the pile because that was kind of nice. But
I have a lot of the elementary kids come over, and we talk about what the word public means. And in libraries, it's kind of trickier than defining it at a school, but in a way it's not, because as I tell the kids, what does public library mean? What does public school mean? And kids always know. They always say, oh, it means everyone. It means everyone. And I tell them, yes, this is Macon Public Library. It's a library for everyone. And then I usually have to stop and talk to them about why we have public places and that it's supported with taxes. And this happens to be a municipal library, and we get off on that. But the kernel of the idea is, I think everyone would strongly agree, a public library is for everyone. You are here to serve everyone in the public, and that includes anyone with any kind of disability or talent or anything that's extraordinary. And I just look at a library in that way.
Without the contributions of people with disabilities, what would this world be?